Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, wanted to seek the blessing of Radha Mata, Radha Shamsundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Nrsimha Bhagwan, Jagannath Brother Gaunikai, Tulsimani Haridas Saga, Guru Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, and the assembled devotees. So, continuing on, Canto 10, Chapter 23. So, tomorrow is Sri Krishna Janmashtami, very important day, and a very, very special day because it's the appearance of Lord Krishna. And also, it looks like a special day because the stars are aligned so nicely for his appearance. So, chapter 23 is entitled The Brahman's Wives Blessed. It's a wonderful pastime. This chapter describes how Lord Sri Krishna, after inducing the cowherd boys to beg for food, showed mercy to the wives of some Brahmins performing a sacrifice and made the Brahmins themselves feel remorse. When the cowherd boys became very hungry, they asked Sri Krishna about obtaining food. He sent them to beg some food from a group of Brahmanas who were learned in Vedic injunctions and were performing an Angirasa sacrifice to gain promotion to heaven. So Krishna advised the cowherd boys to simply request some food, giving them the name of his elder brother, the Supreme Lord Balaram, and also his name, and explain that Krishna sent them. Now, normally you would expect those who are familiar with Vedic traditions and Vedic sacrifices to give some regard here because Krishna and Balaram are involved. Thus instructed by the Lord, the cowherd boys approached the Brahmanas very respectfully and requested some food for Krishna and Balaram. But those Brahmanas ignored the boys, thinking Sri Krishna an ordinary human being. Indeed, the Brahmanas were full of petty desires and entangled in elaborate rituals. Though presuming themselves advanced in Vedic training, they were actually inexperienced fools. They failed to recognize that Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. Thus bewildered by their false identification with the mortal body, they did not show him proper respect. So sometimes we can get involved in the ritualistic aspects of seva. And if we're not careful, we miss the whole point of seva. When I say ritualistic, mechanisms of seva, like if we're doing arti, we're very careful, we make sure, we offer the right thing at the right time, in the right way. But if we're so focused on making sure that the arti is performed properly, but we don't actually give regard to the person that we're offering arti to, then perhaps we're missing the point. The idea of arti is to please the Supreme Lord. To get it right, that's nice. But the essence of doing any seva is to please the Lord. Anyway, but these Brahmins, they were very much entangled in getting the ritualistic aspects of the seva that they were doing, according to the Vedic scriptures, correct. So they ignored the boys and they ignored Krishna, which is a real shame. The boys returned disappointed. But the Lord sent them off again, advising them to ask the Brahmins' wives for the food, explaining that they were the most affectionate toward him, and their intelligence resides in him alone. So the Lord knew the Brahmins are very ritualistic. Although they're doing the Vedic sacrifices and thinking themselves very advanced, they were not that clever. But he also knew that the ladies were devoted to him. These ladies had heard of Krishna's transcendental qualities, very much attached to him. Thus, as soon as they learned he was nearby, they went to him in great haste, bringing all four varieties of foods. In this way, they offered themselves to Krishna. So when the boys went to them, They became ecstatic. Oh, Krishna is nearby and he is hungry. That's great. They, without even asking their husbands, they quickly prepared whatever was needed and went to see Krishna. Although their husbands, brothers, sons, and other relatives tried to forbid them from going, their hope of seeing Krishna won out. They caught sight of beautiful Krishna strolling along the Yamuna with his friends. And then there's a little description of what they saw. His complexion was dark blue, his garments golden. He was wearing a peacock feather colored minerals, springs of flower buds, and garland of forest flowers and leaves. He was dressed just like a dramatic dancer. He rested one hand upon the shoulder of a friend, and with the other twirled a lotus. Lilies graced his ears. His hair hung down over his cheeks. His lotus-like face was smiling. Wow, what a phenomenal description. So, just a quick summary. On one picnic, the Gopas were very hungry as they had not eaten breakfast. They left early. They hadn't eaten breakfast. Thus, they approached Krishna, and Krishna advised them to go to the house of the Brahmins nearby. They were now engaged in performing Vedic sacrifices. So the boys asked for some charity in the name of Balaram and Krishna. The Gopas went, but the Brahmins did not even speak to the boys. So Krishna said to the boys to go to the wives of the Brahmins. Lesson, don't get caught up in so much rituals that we forget the purpose of the rituals. So this is 7 years and 2 months. Krishna was 7 years, 2 months. The Brahmins' wives' minds were always absorbed in Krishna. Through the apertures of their eyes, they now forced him to enter within their hearts. And then they embraced him within for a long time. In this way, they finally gave up the pain of separation from him. Just as sages give up the anxiety of false ego by embracing their innermost consciousness. Lord Krishna greeted the Brahmins' ladies, saying, "What can I do for you?" Krishna knew, of course. Those who see their own true interests render unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service unto me, for I am the dearmost to the soul. You should just return to the sacrificial arena because your husbands are householders and need your help to finish their respective sacrifices. So Krishna is teasing them, saying, you're not really devotees, not my devotees, because you're married to husbands who are very much inclined towards Vedic sacrifices. So he was teasing them that you might as well go back now, just to see what their response would be. The wives replied, "Please don't be so cruel, but accept us, who have surrendered to you. We are ready to give up all material relationships. Our husbands, fathers, sons, brothers, other relatives, and friends will no longer take us back. How could anyone else be willing to give us shelter? Therefore, since we have thrown ourselves at your lotus feet and have no other destination, please, O chastiser of enemies, grant our desire." So they surrendered. They surrendered. Krishna replied, "Rest assured that your husbands will not be inimical towards you, as I will personally advise them of the situation. Indeed, if the demigods will express their approval, even the demigods express their approval, for you to remain in my bodily association would certainly not please people in this world. Nor would it be the best way for you to increase your love for me. Rather, you should fix your minds upon me, and very soon you will achieve me. It is by hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating upon me, chanting my names and glories, that love will, for me, will develop, not by physical proximity. Therefore, please go back to your homes. So the Brahmins' wives, they served the Krishna and Balaram and the Gopas with their heart, to their heart's content. Even after serving them, they didn't leave. They didn't want to go. They wanted to stay with Krishna. So they just kept following him. But this is what Krishna advised. Look, don't worry about your husbands. If you stay with me, it will be society will frown upon this. Just go back and don't worry. I assure you, you will be with me. You don't have to be with me just physically. You can develop your love for me in any case. So the ladies accepted that. When they went back home, their Brahmin husbands did not find any fault with their wives. Together with them, they finished the sacrifice. One of the wives who had been restrained from seeing Krishna gave up her life thinking of Krishna. When she heard of the descriptions of Krishna from the Brahmins' wives. Wow. So she had been stopped. But when she heard from the Brahmins' wives what Krishna's like, she gave up her life thinking of Krishna. The Brahmins then came to their senses, began to feel great remorse. They thought, we have sinned, for we have denied the request of the two lords of the universe, who deceptively appear as ordinary human beings. Taking note of their wives' pure transcendental devotion for Lord Krishna, and seeing their own lack of devotion, the Brahmins felt most sorrowful and began to condemn themselves. The Brahmins said, to hell with our threefold birth, our vow of celibacy, and our extensive learning. To hell with our aristocratic background and our expertise in the rituals of sacrifice. These are all condemned because we were inimical to the transcendental personality of Godhead. Very true. Very, very true. Just see the unlimited love these women have developed for Lord Krishna, the spiritual master of the entire universe. This love has broken for them the very bonds of death, their attachment to family life. These women have never undergone the purificatory rites of the twice-born classes, nor have they lived as brahmacharis in the ashram of a spiritual master, nor have they executed austerities, speculated on the nature of the self, followed the formalities of cleanliness, or engaged in pious rituals. Nevertheless, they have firm devotion for Lord Krishna, whose glories are chanted by exalted hymns of the Vedas, and who is the supreme master of all masters of mystic power. So they're absolutely spot on. So sometimes when people go through the process of learning about spirituality, they can become proud, thinking themselves better than anybody else. And this is what was the problem with the Brahmins. They were thinking we're better than anybody. That includes Krishna and Balaram. And that false ego was their downfall. And now they realize, and that's good, they realize it. They've been very lucky. They were taught by their own wives, who apparently were not so learned, etc. We, on the other hand, have no such devotion for the Lord, although we have executed all of these processes. So even if we do all this, live here as a brahmachari in the spiritual master's home, do austerities, learn lots, engage in different spiritual rituals, it doesn't guarantee us bhakti. So bhakti is very rare. Devotion is very rare. We should be very thankful to the Lord that He's given us some little speck of bhakti so that we can become close to Him. Having spoken thus, all the Brahmins offered their obeisances to Lord Sri Krishna, hoping to counteract their offense. Nonetheless, out of fear of King Kamsa, they did not go to see the Lord in person. So still, even after realizing everything, they were still in Maya. They're still in Maya because they had the opportunity to see Krishna face to face, even for half a moment is enough. Doesn't matter about any king comes. Who cares? Anyway, so a quick. I think we've. Ah, yeah. This is a little bit more detail. This is where you see the wives are serving Krishna and Balaram, and also the cowherd boys. When the wives of the Brahmins heard about Krishna and Balaram, they immediately ready to serve them. They did not have to be convinced of the importance of Krishna and Balaram. Immediately upon hearing their names, they became very anxious to see them. Being advanced by thinking of Krishna constantly, they were performing the greatest form of mystic meditation. All the wives then became very busily engaged in filling up different pots with nice foodstuffs. Due to the performance of the sacrifice of various foods were all very palatable. After collecting a feast, they prepared to go to Krishna, their lovable object. Later, the Brahmins realized they made a terrible mistake by neglecting Krishna. And the lesson to learn, the greatest meditation is to think of Krishna. Sri Govinda, the ever joyful personality God, revealed his transcendental pastimes, appearing just like an ordinary human being, and enjoyed the food offered by the wives of the Brahmins. Chapter 24. Worshipping Govardhan Hill. Wow. In this chapter, Lord Sri Krishna crushes the pride of Indra by prohibiting a sacrifice intended for him and initiating a substitute sacrifice in worship of Govardhan Hill. When Krishna saw the cowherd men busily preparing for a sacrifice to Indra, although being the omniscient Lord, he knows everything. He's omniscient, full of knowledge. He already understood the situation. Yet, he still humbly inquired about it from his father. Please tell me what sacrifice you are doing and for whom it is. Is it a ceremony based on scripture injunctions or simply a tradition? Nand Maharaj explained that the rain given by Indra enables all living entities to maintain their lives, which gives happiness to all. Therefore, this sacrifice would be executed to satisfy him. Indra is worshipped, his remnants taken to sustain lives. This worship is based on sound tradition. So Nand Maharaj is explaining to his young son, who's about 7 years old. Krishna responds, it is because of, so this talks a little bit like an ordinary person. It was only because of karma alone that living entities take their birth in a certain body, experience varieties of happiness and suffering in that body, and then give it up as karma pertaining to it runs out. He's only a little boy, but he's giving deep philosophy to his father. Eventually, Krishna persuaded the men not to do the sacrifice because he also argued, as rains even fall on the ocean, due to karma, we get rains. So if they fall on the ocean, the creator is not very intelligent, Krishna is saying. The ocean is full of water and rain's falling on the water. What's the point of that? So why are you thanking Indra? Nothing to do with Indra. It's our karma. Instead, he asked them to worship Govardhan Hill, and the local Brahmins and Nanda Maharaj finally relented. They didn't want to, but Krishna was very persuasive in his argument, and they loved Krishna anyway. Anyway, continuing on with the arguments Krishna is giving. It is karma alone that is our enemy, our friend, our guru, and our Lord. Indra can do nothing to alter the happiness and distress of anyone. For everyone is tightly bound by his karmic reactions and must follow his own nature. Even if there is some supreme controller who awards everyone the result of his activities, he must also depend on our activities. After all, there is no question of being the bestower of fruitive results unless fruitive activities have actually been performed. Interesting argument. Since Lord Indra cannot in any way change the destiny of human beings, which is born of their own nature, why should people worship him? You're going to get the benefit anyway, Krishna is arguing. Therefore, one should seriously worship work itself. A person should remain in a position corresponding to his nature and should perform his own duty. The Brahman maintains his life by studying and teaching the Vedas. The member of the royal order by protecting the earth, the Vaishya by trade, the Shudra by serving the higher classes. The occupational duties of the Vaishya are conceived in 4 divisions. So Krishna is explaining, this is where you are: farming, commerce, cow protection, and money lending. Out of these, we as a community are always engaged in cow protection. The causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction are the 3 modes of material nature, namely goodness, passion, ignorance. In particular, the mode of goodness creates this universe, and impelled by this mode, the clouds pour down their rain everywhere. By this rain, all creatures gain their sustenance. What has the great Indra to do with this arrangement? Furthermore, the cowherd's proper residence is in the forest and on the hills. Therefore, you should offer worship to the cows, the Brahmins, and Govardhan Hill as follows. So they were persuaded by these arguments. And then Nand Maharaj asked Krishna, okay, how do we worship Govardhan? So Krishna explains, let many different kinds of foods be cooked, from sutras to vegetable soups. Many kinds of fancy cakes, both baked and fried, should be prepared, and all the available milk products should be taken for this sacrifice. The Brahmins learned in the Vedic mantras must evoke the sacrificial fires. The priests be freed with nicely prepared food and rewarded with cows and gifts. Appropriate food given to everyone else, including dogs and dog eaters. Grass should be given to cows, offerings presented to Govardhan Hill. So after everyone has eaten to his satisfaction, you should all dress and decorate yourselves handsomely, smear your bodies with sandalwood paste, and then circumambulate the cows, the Brahmins, sacrificial fires, and Govardhan Hill. Lord Krishna wanted to destroy the false pride of Indra. When Nanda and the other senior men of Vrindavan heard of Krishna's statement, they accepted his words. They loved Krishna. Whatever he says goes. Whether it is good for them or not good, they knew they would get punished by Indra, but it didn't matter to them because Krishna is whom they wanted to please. Even though they didn't necessarily consider him as God, it didn't matter to them. They just loved him. The cowherd community then did all that Madhusudan had suggested as above, then placed the cows, bulls, calves in front of them. They circumambulated Govardhan. They prepared very nice food: rice, dal, halwa, pakora, puri, all kinds of milk preparations like sweet rice, sweet bowls, sandesh, rasgulla, laddus. Invited the learned Brahmins who can chant the Vedic hymns and offered oblations to the fire. The Brahmins were given all kinds of grains in charity. Then all the cows were decorated and fed as well. After this, the sacrifice known as Govardhan Puja began. So this is the beautiful Govardhan. So nice to have darshan of Govardhan. Here again, keeping the cows in front, the people then circumambulated the hill. Nand Maharaj called in learned Brahmins and began to worship Govardhan Hill by chanting Vedic hymns and offering prasad. Right, what happens? Krishna then assumed a huge, unprecedented transcendental form, declaring, I am Govardhan Mountain. So this is the unique feature of Govardhan. He's both a devotee of Krishna, and Krishna also expands himself as Govardhan. This is inconceivable nature of the Lord and his devotees in the past times. And he devoured all the food and other offerings presented to Govardhan. He ate it all. As he did so, he proclaimed to the cowherd community that although they had worshipped Indra for so long, he had never appeared in person. Indra never came to thank them. Whereas Govardhan himself has now manifested before their eyes. And they saw him. They saw Govardhan, who is Krishna. And they saw him eat their offerings of foodstuffs. Therefore, they should now offer obeisances to Govardhan Hill. Then Krishna joined the cowherd boys, because he was both as Govardhan and he was there as the human form. He joined the cowherd boys in offering obeisances to his own newly assumed form. There you go. There he is there, and there he is there. Krishna assumed a great transcendental form, declared to the inhabitants of Vrindavan that he was himself Govardhan Hill. Then Krishna began to eat all the food offered there. The form of Krishna, who began to eat the offerings, was separately constituted. Separately constituted. And Krishna himself, along with other inhabitants of Vrindavan, began to offer obeisances to Govardhan Hill. This is such a phenomenal pastime. And tomorrow, or no, Monday, we'll hopefully hear about the pastime of lifting of the Govardhan. Any questions, any comments, please?
So, Prabhuji,
Yes,
so when he assumed this chanting form of Krishna, it's a Govardhan, did the villagers and Gopal and Gopis realize that it's the same Krishna as the little boy?
Yeah, absolutely. Although it was bewildering because Krishna was right in front of them, but they could also see Krishna in the form of Govardhan eating. So they were, a little bit, a little bit shocked, a little bit surprised, really confused, but they didn't care because it was Krishna. Krishna was already there. It didn't matter whether he's Govardhan as what. Who cares? But yeah, they saw both. They saw both. And it is bewildering, right? It is very bewildering. But wow, they were happy.
And the Raman wives, they were not into the Vedic studies, but they still knew about Krishna and Balram, isn't it? They must have known
Yes,
about Krishna and worshipped him in that form,
yes,
rather than the husbands who were more into the Vedic rituals.
correct. They'd
Correct?
heard about Krishna. They'd heard about his pastimes.
Yeah.
The killing of Putana, so many. Because they were living in that area, and everybody would be talking about it, so they became very attracted to Krishna. And they were meditating on Krishna. When will he come? When will we get darshan of Krishna? And this is one of the reasons why he asked the boys, go to the Brahmins. Oh, they don't want to give you anything? Now go to my devotees, the wives. So this is how he glorified them, the wives, because they were already in love with him. And he knew that. He knew that.
So that means that the karma kanda activity of the Vedic, it doesn't much stand, isn't it? More
Yeah.
into rituals rather than as a basic stepping stone towards future bhakti.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely spot on. If that karma kanda doesn't bring you closer to Krishna, then it's simply an activity which is just like going to work
Mm.
for the employers and then they pay you. That's all it is. Karma kanda is exactly the same thing. You worship the demigods, you give them something, they give you something in return. So that's all it is. If it doesn't lead, as you said, to the connection with Krishna, which makes it bhakti, or it begins to make it bhakti, then it's a waste of time. Might as well go to work for Google and earn some money. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Nariman. Thank you so much. It's very nice you ask these questions because they do challenge one. So it's very nice. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. When you said the Brahman's wife, are the wives gopis or is someone
No,
else?
not gopis. Not like the gopis of Vrindavan, but they were separate. They were the wives of the Brahmins, and these Brahmins.
And where this Brahman were?
In Vrindavan, in the forests, they had their own
in
village.
the forest. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, they had their own village. And they see the gopis are more Vaish. They are like cowherd in the farming community. The Brahmins are the Brahmins. They're not like the Gopas.
Yeah, they don't do like work in the
They don't do
village.
the farming activity. They do
Yeah.
more the sacrifice.
All right. No, very nice. Now we wait for Monday. Is that
Yeah.
is that the one like the rain will come?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and then he's going to he will take this Govardhan hill on his one
Yes,
of his little finger.
exactly.
Right.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, yes, we wanted to wish everybody happy Janmashtami for tomorrow.
Yeah, happy Janmashtami, Prabhuji. And I'm sorry I can't come tomorrow.
No, that's okay. I understand. It's far away.
Yeah.
No
It
worries.
is if it's nearer, then it's fine.
I know
But
it's
too
far.
far to drive. It takes me about 2 hours.
No.
Because sometimes I come to Croydon, the traffic is so bad there.
Yeah, it is.
Even if I come to the Preeti's house, traffic is so bad. And one of our family, not family, community person passed away yesterday.
Oh, no. Okay.
And he's what is called like they rent a hall and then everybody go for sympathy. It's called like Sadri.
Sadri, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We call it the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is tomorrow. It's in Croydon too in the afternoon. It's from 2 to 4. But I'm not going to go. I will just make a phone call for sympathy.
Oh, okay.
Because it's too far for me.
Yeah, okay. Understood.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna Prabhuji. He died in his sleep, yeah?
Okay.
Har Jivan Godania.
Right. So it's part of your family, huh?
My daughter's side.
Okay.
Yeah, my daughter's
Sorry
side.
to hear that.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Shri Krishna.
And yeah, happy Janmashtami to all the Matajis and all the Prabhujis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Janmashtami to everyone.
Happy Janmashtami.
Thank you.
Prabhu.
Enjoy, everybody.
Sorry, I have to leave.
That's okay. No problem. Alhamdulillah.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Happy Janmashtami to everyone.
Thank you. You too. Happy Janmashtami.
I will